has become a good tradition already to prepare Christmas tree decoration for New Year's Day. Every year we try our best to think of something new. Well, to my mind there is nothing better than a spiral decoration for a Christmas tree, but anyway, it's always nice to try some new ideas. So this year we are creating fir trees. I borrowed the idea from such a rich source of inspiration as weaving saloon. There are tutorials on straw weaving by Larissa Gurji. Thanks a lot to the author for sharing her skill. Besides, while developing the idea of little Christmas trees like these, I found out that Tamara Zadorina has already applied the idea to paper weaving. So, let's continue the topic and weave a fir tree today. The good thing about this idea is that you need only 7 tubes to weave a single tree like this. You can use different type of tubes. If you roll them off advertising papers, it is enough to sort and collect tubes of a similar color. The only thing you need is covering them with cool glue mixed with water to prevent them from unrolling. Or as an option, you can spread glue along the whole edge while rolling a tube. You spread glue thoroughly along the stripe edge like this, after which you can roll a tube. You have to do it in order to keep a tube from unrolling when cutting it into halves. A tube created like this doesn't require any additional covering. If you fail to get the tubes of the same color, no problem, you can paint the motley tubes you've got. Tubes made of advertising papers are glossy. As you know, it's hard to paint them, so I take golden paint, for example, and add some bright yellow colorant in order to make a tube brighter, and a bit of school glue to prevent it from unrolling. Mix the solution thoroughly. As a result, I get a pale yellow adhesive solution and paint the tubes with this mixture. In this case, you cannot paint them by dipping into the solution, because they can stick together if you do. So I paint the required number of tubes this way and distribute them so that they could be drying separately. In this case, you have to prepare each tube individually. After which I distribute them on a shoebox and let them dry. So the tubes have been prepared. While preparing tubes for the fir trees, I decided to experiment with colors. Instead of a single colored item, I've woven these 3 of red and yellow tubes. In this case the tubes were painted dark blue, however I have decided it would be too dark, so I have spotted them with silver and light blue. These tubes have been spotted with golden paint, while this item has been spotted with both gold and red. So the way you decorate the items depend on how you are going to decorate the Christmas tree itself. So to create a single fir-tree like this you need 7 tubes. 2 of them will be used as a trunk. The rest 5 are to be cut into halves. Well, approximately into halves. These are our future branches. So here is a trunk and here are branches. Let's start with the trunk. To avoid any additional tubes, I bend the first trunk tube into halves and the second one like this. It is going to be a tree's body. So I bend the second tube not into halves, but bend a tail a little like this. As for this long tail, I'm going to entwine the shorter tubes later to create the lower part of the tree. So the trunk is prepared. Then take the first branch. I bend it into halves more or less sharp. Then lead it under the trunk, after which I lead the right tube and then the left one in front of it at an angle about 45 degrees. Take the second branch, bend it into halves as well, and then lead it behind the trunk too and in front of it, first to the left, then to the right. That's all. The third branch. Bend into halves, soften the middle part. Now ever since I lead every following tube behind the extreme branches. Here they are. After which I lead the tube tails first to the left and then to the right. Repeat all the same actions again. As a result, every following branch holds the previous one and prevents it from unweaving. It takes about 5 minutes or so to create a Christmas tree decoration like this. Well, if you don't take into account the time taken to prepare the tubes, of course. You get such a nice looking pattern from the front side, and the wrong side looks rather neat as well. So even if your fir tree is going to spin, you won't feel ashamed of the wrong side of it. So let's finish. This time I press the 2 branches at a time here, this way. Let's weave up to the very end and I'll show you how to finish. One, 2, and the last branch. Lead it round the trunk. 1, 2, turn the item round, and the last 2 tails are going to join the trunk. Take the long tube prepared beforehand and entwine the trunk with it. The trunk consists of the basic tubes and the last pair of tubes. I distribute them like this and weave a trunk bottom. I've tried just wrapping the tubes like here, experimented with different colors of branches and trunk. But to my mind, a trunk widening toward beneath looks more like a natural one. Well, but actually you can try all the options and choose the one you prefer. Apply a normal weaving technique like this and shape a trunk in the end. 1, 2, and that's probably enough. It's unlikely to be sufficient for the third coil. That's why you can cut the remainders, cover them with glue and press with a closing clip. As for this top, I'm going to cover it with glue and cut later. The only thing left is to shape the crown to make our fir tree look still nicer. Let's trim it a little. At first I'm smoothing the entire edge. Since we've covered the tubes with special solution beforehand, they are not going to unroll. Try to trim both edges more or less symmetrically. I personally like it more when the edge is not straight like this, but with a kind of a haircut. So let's curve it a bit from beneath. To my view, it seems to look nicer this way. Let's cut the remainders. That's all. The only thing left is to wait till the glue fastens. Attach a small ribbon to the top and it's ready to be hung onto the tree. Well, you can decorate it with beads if you like to, or you can paint some points on it. It's up to your imagination. Anyway, now you know how to create a Christmas tree decoration in 5 minutes or so. You can make it together with your kid as a New Year's souvenir for kindergarten or school, for example. Or you can decorate a Christmas tree or just walls for New Year's Day at home.